What up, everybody? Welcome to the Stout Out Show, your premiere episode as of today. Your one-stop shop for all things MMA bets, breakdowns, and predictions. On deck for today's show, we have UFC 316, the main event featuring Merab Dvalishvili defending his bantamweight title against Sean O'Malley in their much-anticipated rematch. And for the co-main, we have Julianna Peña defending her bantamweight belt against Kayla Harrison. But before we get into those two fights, let's go shoot right into the prelims and the first fight of the night. First fight of the night is going to be MarQuel Mederos taking on Choinski on a lightweight bout. MarQuel Mederos is the favorite at minus 250, while Choinski is the plus 210 underdog. Now, these are odds as it stands for today, as it stands on Monday today. I know they're ever growing or shrinking, so just bear with me here for the odds. Mederos is 3-0 in the UFC. I like he's definitely got some good striking. He fights switch stance and he's got some super powerful kicks, which, definitely trying to avoid those if you're looking at the scouting report. Most of his wins come by like TKO or KO, and he's on an 8-fight win streak. I mean, I think his last loss was in 2022. He just is coming off that split decision win against Austin Hubbard in March of this year, so it's a quick turnaround fight for him. And ever since he's been in the UFC, he's never been finished. However, he is fighting on newcomer and making his UFC debut, Mark Choinski. Choinski's got that wrestling favored game. He's a former D3 All-American wrestler. I think he wrestled out of University of Wisconsin Oshkosh. He's a Rufus Sport product, and he's got his foot forever on the gas, but it's usually trying to, foot on the gas, looking to take you down. Most of his wins come by way of submission. As I said, strike, looks for a level change to take you down, then gets a submission. 5 of his 8 wins come by way of submission. So I'm saying Choinski is going to eke it out. I think he's going to, pretty much look for the level change, keep it on the ground. I'm looking for him to take the fight to the distance. Mark Choinski is going to be your winner on that one. All right, the next fight that we got is going to be, in the lightweight division. That's going to be the Aussie Quillan Salkilld taking on Yanal Ashmouz. Quillan Salkilld is the overwhelming favorite at a minus 550, while Yanal Ashmouz is a plus 375. For those who didn't see Salkild's last fight, that dude smoked Anshul Jabil, in February. 19-second knockout, fight of the night performance. Solid. He's riding an 8-fight win streak. He's currently 2-0 in the UFC. He's got some solid striking accuracy at 56%, and he's looking at landing 5.6 significant strikes per minute. Ashmouz, on the other hand, he kind of reminds me of like the poor man's John Fitch, if you will. He's 2-1 in the UFC. He's got a good ground game, good takedown skills. He against his last win against Trevor Peek, which was in September of last year, he was crushing takedowns. He had multiple significant takedowns. Prior to his first loss, though, in the UFC, he was riding a 7-fight win streak himself. But I'm sticking with the odds on this one. I'm saying Quillan Salkilld gets the win. I'm thinking he's going to finish it. I'm saying round 2 TKO. All right, for the next fight, we have the South Korean product, Jo Sang-Yu, taking on Jeka Saragih. In a featherweight bout, so Jo Sang-Yu is a minus 475 favorite, while Saragih is a plus 340 underdog. Like I said, this is Sang-Yu's UFC debut. He's riding an 8-fight win streak. He's got super crisp boxing, great hands. In his last 2 promotions, he was actually the featherweight champion. I believe he had like 1 or 2 fights in one promotion, and then hopped over to the next promotion, was champion of that, and now he's making his UFC debut. What jumped off the page for me, which I did like about him, is he can finish the fight anywhere. He's actually got 4 submission wins to his record, so he's not afraid to go to the ground. Saragih, on the other hand, he's 3-2 in the UFC. He's actually coming off a submission loss to Weston Wilson in June of last year. He's 3-2 in his last 5 fights. What I do like, though, is 9 of his 14 wins are coming by TKO or KO. He's got that wushu/sanda background, super aggressive kicks. Loves the leg kick, and he's the former Pride lightweight champion. But like I said, Sang-Yu's not afraid to take it to the ground. Saragih's kind of susceptible to submissions, so I'm going to go Jo Sang-Yu submission round 2. If he's reading the scouting report correctly, you got to take Saragih down. He's going to probably lose to submission. All right, next fight on the night is, Switching it to the women's flyweight division for Ariane Lipski de Silva taking on Wang Kong. Wang Kong is the minus 370 favorite, while De Silva is a plus 280 underdog. De Silva's got a kind of pedestrian record in the UFC. She's 6-7. She's coming off a submission loss to Jasmine Jasudavicius in November of 2024. Jasudavicius, though, I mean, she's no slouch. She had a great performance her last fight. I think she got the round 1 submission. So it's not like some fluke loss. I mean, Jasmine Jasudavicius is definitely a title contender. If not, she's knocking on the door. But back to De Silva. She's running a 2-fight losing streak. She's 3-2 in her last 5 fights. She's probably looking to take it to the ground against Kong Wang. I don't think she's really equipped to do the stand-up with her. She doesn't have she's not as elite as Wang Kong, even though she's the former KSW flyweight champion. Wang Kong, on the other hand, she is coming off a decision win against Bruno Brazil in February of this year. She's never been knocked out. For those who've been keeping up with her, stand-up abilities, she actually beat Valentina Shevchenko in a kickboxing match in 2015. She was the world wushu champion in 2013. She stands at a southpaw stance, super effective leg kicks, likes keeping it at a distance. And she's riding prior to her one loss, she was riding a 6-fight win streak. So I'm definitely liking Wang to get the win with this one. Definitely looking to get this, and definitely going to get the finish. I feel like this one's just not going to distance. So I'm saying Wang. I'm not sure what round the TKO is going to come in, but she's going to get the win. All right, the next one is going to be Andreas Gustafsson taking on Chaos Williams in a welterweight bout. Andreas Gustafsson is a plus 170, while Chaos Williams is a minus 200. Andreas Gustafsson was supposed to fight last week at UFC Vegas 107. Unfortunately, his opponent fell out or said he hit his head while he was cutting weight. Go figure. So Chaos Williams was looking for a dance partner. Andreas Gustafsson was on the apron. He looking to tag in like Marty Jannetty. Boom, he's in there. Anyway, Gustafsson's kind of getting a late start in the UFC. He's 34. He's 1-0 in the UFC. But for those who saw his fight against Pat Pitlick in the Contender Series in August of 24, the dude is a beast, dude. He is strong. He's super big for the welterweight division. Very, very effective clinch game. I mean, he got that win. He kneed Pitlick in the dome and just out like a light. He's never been finished before. So he's looking to continue that on. Chaos Williams is coming off a submission loss to Gabriel Bonfim. That happened in February of this year. Bonfim, again, he's another elite submission guy, so that's not some fluke loss. I mean, Bonfim's fighting Stephen Thompson his next fight, so he's not a slouch. Anyway, Williams is 3-2 in his last 5. He's never been knocked out before. He stands in an orthodox stance. He's always, if you look at his past performances, he's always looking for that like counter check right hook, which I like. But I don't think he's got the size and power enough to go against Gustafsson. So I'm taking Gustafsson, even though he's the slight underdog for this. I'm taking Gustafsson for the win. This fight is not going the distance. Somebody's going to sleep in that one, but I'm definitely taking Gustafsson on that one. All right, the next fight that we got is going to be in the heavyweight division. Number 7, Sergey Spivak is taking on Waldo Cortes-Acosta. This is a major test for my boy Waldo Cortes-Acosta. He's coming off Cortes-Acosta's coming off a TKO win against Ryan Spann. That was in March of 2025. He's riding a solid 4-fight win streak. He stands in like an orthodox stance, which I like. Solid boxing. And if he finds your chin, he's definitely got the tools to turn your lights out, which I do like. I mean, if he can find Spivak's chin, he's got a puncher's chance. I think even more than a puncher's chance, to be honest. I mean, Spivak's coming off a TKO loss to Yalton Almeida. That was in January of this year. And if you look at Spivak's record, his last 2 of his 3 fights, he lost via TKO. So you got to question his chin, strength. Is it leaving? Is it going? You know what I mean? I don't know. But I think Waldo Cortes-Acosta, could definitely touch it. But Spivak's not an idiot. He's got that great sambo background, and when he fights guys that he knows that have supreme knockout power, like a Tai Tuivasa, Marcin Tiberi, or Derek Lewis, he's going to look to take the fight to the ground 100%. He knows he can get knocked out. Okay, guys, what am I going to do? I got the tools to take the fight to the ground. So I think that's exactly what he's going to do against Waldo Cortes-Acosta. So I'm going to say Sergey gets the submission in this one, maybe late round 1 or early round 2. Next fight is a light fill-in. Brendson Ribeiro is filling in for Johnny Walker at a light heavyweight bout against Azamat Murzakanov. Ribeiro is a plus 250, while Murzakanov is minus 320. Ribeiro is 3-2 in the UFC. He is coming off a submission win against DR Nergazi in March 2025. I know he's got that short turnaround. He's on a 2-fight win streak, though, which I like. He's 6'3". He's got the reach advantage at 81 inches. He's aggressive when it comes to striking, but he definitely leaves himself open to take damage. I'm not saying he's like wild and out of control, but when you're aggressive and you're looking for a constant knockout like that, he kind of gets reckless and he leaves openings. He does like to keep his opponents at distance with his good reach, but I think Murzakanov can find the chink in his armor. Murzakanov, he's coming off a KO win against Alonzo Menefield. That happened in August of last year. He's riding a 5-fight win streak, and he's got super, super strong KO power, especially in his left hand. Also got good clinch work too, man. I did see when I was looking at his fighter tape when he was fighting Devin Clark and Tefan. When I was looking at his fight against Devin Clark, he kind of leaves himself open for head kicks. Doesn't really see him coming as well as he should, and doesn't really make that adjustment in the fight. But I still like him for the win of this one. Murzakanov, round 1 TKO, lights out. Okay, so the next one is going to be a flyweight bout for Joshua Van, who's the overwhelming majority betting favorite. He's minus 650, taking on the number 12 Bruno Silva. This is a huge step up in competition for Joshua Van. This is actually his first fight against a ranked opponent. He's coming off a unanimous decision win against Rai Tesura that happened in March. He's running a 3-fight win streak, and he's got great takedown defense, and he's got super high volume striking. He actually holds the record for most significant strikes landed in a minute at 8. But again, Silva's not number 12 for no reason. Even though he's coming off, a TKO last Manel Kopp that happened in December of last year. But prior to that, fight, he was running a 4-fight win streak. And although he is coming off an injury too, he's got great ground game. I swear I could talk. This fight was supposed to, happen in March, but like I said, he was injured, rehabs. Now his fight's back on here, happening in June. I'm liking Van. I'm taking the odds on this one. I'm liking Van, but this fight's going distance. I don't see it finishing. I'm seeing it lasting the full 3 rounds. So Van for the win. All right, next fight is going to be the main card. But before we get into the main card, guys, if you like what you're hearing, please, please, please like, comment, and subscribe, and share the video. I've been doing this for a minute, so if you actually go to my Instagram page, Stout Out, you'll see my results. I'm standing currently at 67% as it comes to fighter picks. I've been doing like 6 to. I put the picks up probably a day or 3 before the actual card, and then I always post the results right after the card happens, probably the day after, so you see how you did. But again, if you like what you're seeing, please like, comment, subscribe. I love doing this. I'm looking to put out about 2 to 3 videos a week, so join the team. Let's go. Anyway, main card time. All right, main card starting off with number 14, Vicente Luque taking on Kevin Holland. Kevin Holland's the favorite at minus 265. Vicente Luque is standing at a 215 underdog. I like to see Kevin Holland fighting at his natural weight here at welterweight. I know he's bouncing back and forth at middleweight to welterweight to middleweight. He's 15-10-1 in his UFC record. His ground game did improve though. He fought Gunnar Nelson in March a couple months ago. Gunnar Nelson wasn't doing anything in the first 2 rounds, but almost got the submission in the 3rd round. But Kevin Holland, boom, he's fighting out of it, popped up. He looked good. He definitely looked improved. Now Gunnar Nelson, not taken away from him, but he definitely had the ring rust. Hadn't fought in a while. Was kind of focused on coaching, but. Kevin Holland, he's 2-3 in his last fights, but as we all know, Kevin Holland just literally he fights like 5 times a year. So I'm not taking anything away from his record. He fights on all comers. So he bounces back and forth. But now that he's at welterweight, he's got a little bit more strength to him. Same size as everybody, which I like. Everybody knows his striking is great. He's unorthodox as hell. It's very hard for his opponents to see where his shots are coming from. But he does struggle a lot with elite ground game fighters, especially elite submission guys, which I think Vicente Luque is. Vicente Luque is coming off submission wins against Temba Gorbino, which happened in December of 2024. It was actually the fastest anaconda choke in UFC history. Happened in 52 seconds. He is 2-3 in his last 5 fights, but he's got the second most finishes in the welterweight division. I'm actually pretty excited for this fight. He can finish on the feet as well, but I think as you know, he is looking at Kevin Holland. He's definitely looking to get it to the ground as fast as possible and sink into submission. So I'm going to take the underdog of this one. I'm going to take Vicente Luque, and I'm going to say he wins by submission. All right, the next fight on the main card is going to be Patchy Mix taking on Mario Bautista. Patchy Mix, the newest UFC signee. He's a plus 245 dog, taking on the number 10 ranked Mario Bautista, who's minus 300. I am team Patchy Mix 100%. He is probably the best get the UFC's got besides or outside of the UFC as far as talent-wise. I know he's been high on their list. He is literally, he's coming off a unanimous decision win against Magomed Murzakanov in May of 2024. A lot of people didn't pick him to win that fight. He looked great against Magomed Murzakanov. Great wrestling. Was able to, when Magomedov did get him to the ground, was able to get up right away. Good defensive wrestling. He's riding a 7-fight win streak, and he's a former Bellator champion, as we all know. And he fought some of the tougher competition that wasn't in the UFC. I mean, he wins against Rafion Stouts, which is no joke, and Sergio Pettis, like the notable 2 big wins. But Rafion Stouts is good wrestling too, man. He's no joke either. So. But Batista's coming off a split decision win against Jose Aldo in October. A lot of people thought Jose Aldo won that fight. That's why I'm kind of like, I don't really get the odds being this far separate, but he is riding a 7-fight win streak, and he's got a good, strong wrestling base. It's pretty hard to take him down. But if anybody can do it, I do think it's Patchy Mix. So as he's gotten on with his experience, he's 9-2 in the UFC. His striking has gotten better and more accurate, and it's not orthodox, but more accurate and crisper. But I'm riding with Patchy Mix. I think Patchy Mix gets the win here. It goes the distance. I think Patchy Mix I'm definitely riding the hype train. I think he's definitely worth betting on at this one. All right, the next one is Kevin Gastelum taking on Joe Pfeiffer in the middleweight division. Kevin Gastelum battle-tested as a plus 300 dog, while Joe Pfeiffer is a minus 400 favorite. Everybody knows this fight was supposed to happen in March of this year in Mexico. My boy Pfeiffer got a little touch of the Montezuma's revenge and was coming out of both ends, apparently. So he trains with Sean Brady, who actually beat Kevin Gastelum. So I think he's got, kind of got the edge and, hey, this is what to do, this is what not to do. He's coming off a solid KO win against Marc-Andre Barriault, but that happened a year ago. He's 4-1 in his last 5 fights, and he's got super solid power in both of his hands. The majority of his wins come by TKO or KO. He's standing at 6'2", and he's definitely got the longer reach than Kevin Gastelum. Gastelum's battle tested and war ready, bro. He's a 13-9-1 in the UFC. I mean, he's seen it all. He's never been knocked out in any of his fights. And, he's got a good, solid wrestling base. I mean, I think he's kind of toward the end of his career. He's probably going to ride out the contract, might take a couple more fights before he retires. He's 2-3 in his last 5. He fights in that awkward that southpaw stance. And, I know it's middleweight, but he's always had issues kind of making weight every once in a while. But I'm going Pfeiffer. I don't think Pfeiffer knocks him out, but I think Pfeiffer does get it enough to get the unanimous decision win. So Joe Pfeiffer, minus 400 all day. All right, next in the co-main event, we have Julianna Peña taking on Kayla Harrison. Peña is a plus 450 underdog, which is shocking. I think her last couple fights, she's always been the underdog. Amanda Nunes, both fights, was the underdog. Against Raquel Pennington was the underdog. Kayla Harrison is the significant favorite as minus 700. Peña, again, she's coming off that split decision win against Raquel Pennington. That happened in October of 24. Pennington... I thought won that fight. I think, she kind of got robbed, but it is what it is. Julianna Peña has that constant, like she says, the power, Peña power. She looks at that pressure game, high volume of striking, but she looks to do that in order to take you down and get ground and pound and inflict damage from mount. She has literally fought a who's who in the bantamweight division. She doesn't duck fight; she fights everybody, and more often than not, she kind of gets it done. She's 8-3 in the UFC, and she holds a W against the greatest, well, arguably the greatest women's fighter of all time, in Amanda Nunes, which is no joke. Kayla Harrison, on the other hand, is a beast. I mean, she is riding a 3-fight win streak. She's coming in. She came into the UFC. The hype train is real. She dominated all three of her UFC fights. As everybody knows, she's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist in judo. And you can make the argument, on the other hand, that she has fought weaker competition when she fought outside of the UFC. But again, she's riding a 3-fight win streak in the UFC, or 2-fight win streak, in the UFC. So, I'm going to take, smart money's got to take Kayla Harrison on this one. I think Kayla Harrison's too much for Peña. I think her takedowns are too good. Striking, I'm going to give I'll give the check to Peña, but I just don't think she can stop Kayla Harrison taking her down. Kayla Harrison can take the fight wherever it wants to go. So I'm liking Harrison here. I think she gets the finish in the probably the mid to later round. So I'm saying round 3 for submission. All right, for the main event, we have the rematch of Merab Dvalishvili taking on Sean O'Malley. Odds haven't changed too much since this fight's been posted. Dvalishvili is a -320 favorite, while O'Malley is a +250 dog. Dvalishvili is coming off that win against Umar Nurmagomedov. A lot of people, kind of questioned whether or not Merab was going to win on that one. They didn't know, but Merab showed, even with his staph infection, his gas tank is legit. He out-wrestled the hell out of Umar Nurmagomedov. Constant pressure. Later rounds still look fresh as hell. Umar Nurmagomedov looked like he couldn't believe it. He's in round 5, and Dvalishvili looked like he just only fought a round. He's never been TKO'd or KO'd at all in his UFC career, or actually his whole fight career. He's riding a solid 12-fight win streak, and I think, he holds the most takedowns in the UFC, and he's probably arguably the best wrestler in the bantamweight division. And now the question is, with Sean O'Malley coming off his injury towards labrum in the hip, does he have enough? Did he gain enough experience wrestling? Did he, increase his, power in wrestling, or increase his acclaim in wrestling since he's been off? I'm going to say no. I definitely like his striking. It's accurate. It's unpredictable. If you looked at the last round that he fought Merab in the 5th round, he didn't almost get the finish, but Merab was definitely thinking about it coming in for the takedown. He does those super accurate body shots and those knees coming up the middle. So if Sean O'Malley's got a chance at winning, it's definitely going to be via a liver shot or some body shot coming up the middle. I don't see Merab getting knocked out. I definitely don't see Sean O'Malley taking Merab down or getting a submission. But if, best way to do it, catch Merab coming in with a quick, knee, or keeping a distance with his teeps, or, one of his Showtime kicks that he can connect with out of nowhere. But I'm saying Merab for the win. Merab out wrestles him, grinds it out as he always does for the W. Merab, full 5-round win, Merab Dvalishvili, and still. All right, guys, that's the fight card for tonight. If you like what you saw, again, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. We'll do an aftermath show, which I probably drop 2 days after the fight. It comes out on Mondays. So follow along, see how we did, and hope we like winning money. All right, see you later, boys.